The term afterthought kind of applies to Clayface, I think. But going back about a year, we knew that DC had a few movies coming. They were going to do they were going to do Superman, odd choice, but they were going to do a Supergirl. Okay, we'll see about that. And surprisingly to a lot of people, they said Clayface. And it was kind of an afterthought for a lot of people. And when we talk about the upcoming DC slate, Clayface would get mentioned, but it was kind of brushed off, despite the fact that Mike Flanagan wrote the initial script, which got a lot of us excited. But maybe it was an afterthought, kind of the way that Tom Brady was an afterthought, being the last quarterback drafted in his draft year and went on to become the GOAT. Because, ladies and gentlemen, they put out the first trailer for Clayface months ago. And it was really pleasantly surprising. I think a lot of us on this show, a lot of you guys who watch the show, I think a lot of us were like, wow, that actually looks pretty good. That could be really neat. That horrific image of him lying in the hospital there with all the bandages in his eye looking out. I thought, okay, that looks pretty good. Well, it wasn't an afterthought anymore. And then this morning happened, where Clayface dropped their first full trailer. And guys, this might be the best trailer of the year. Now, I am withholding judgment on that because I'm still going to say that the Dune trailer right now, I think, is the best trailer of the year. But if you ask me again, once I've had a chance to marinate on this a little bit, this Clayface trailer very well could end up being my absolute favorite trailer of the year. I already had my expectation levels raised because of the last trailer, raised because of who wrote it. But this trailer dropped today, and it's like nothing I was expecting. Like, this looks so good. And you know what, guys? It gives me a little bit of the first Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie vibes, where you just watch the trailers for it and you're like, forget the fact that it's Joker. Forget the fact that this is a character from the DC universe. This just looks like an awesome movie. Take out the DC out of this. Take out the fact that we know this is a Batman villain. Take all that out of it. Change the name Clayface to Rubber Mug or whatever you want to call it. This movie looks awesome, regardless. Now you bring in all the fact that this is, of course, Clayface, and all I can hear is the Harley Quinn animated series Clayface, Lady Gaga. But this is a very different Clayface from that. My God, everything from the dude being in the airplane bathroom, pulling out the scissors, to that shot where he's laying on the ground and the guy punches him and his face just bends with it, to like laying on the operating table and his face starting to bubble. Oh my God, the shot of him laying in that bathtub and then wiping his face and the pretty boy comes out. Like, oh my God, this trailer looks so good. I straight up think this might be the single best trailer of the year, because I say this all the time, guys. The real measure of a trailer and the job of a trailer is take your excitement level, whether it's low or whether it's high, and does the trailer bump it up? If your excitement was low, does it bring it up a bit? If it was already high, does it make it even higher? This trailer delivers on that in spades to me, because I was already getting excited for this movie, and now I am like positively losing my mind to go see this. Guys, it is possible, Rob, that this movie makes more opening weekend than Supergirl did in its entire theatrical run. And probably deservedly so. But, okay, I've been raging on about this trailer. Rob, we haven't talked about it yet. You saw the trailer for Clayface. Did you hate it? Did you like it? Like, I don't know. What did you think about this trailer?
Dude, I first of all, David Cronenberg's always been one of my favorite directors, and body horror as a subset of the horror genre has always been something, whether it was his first feature, They Came From Within, give me a violation of the human body within the realm of a horror film. And I mean, like The Fly, give me that.
Oh yeah.
And the idea, because there's nothing more disconcerting than watching the shells that we walk around in, the housing of our intellect, turn against us. And when you see a body revolt against the mind that it carries around, there's nothing more horrifying than that. And to watch, I mean, to see your face lose its structure in front of you, I mean, the horror of that and the way it's depicted and how this trailer really got more into the storyline of what this movie's actually about. It ticks all of my boxes, man. This movie is like catnip for me. And like, was he gonna try and cut off the droopy part of his face on that plane? Like, what was he gonna do? All I know is, John, I can't wait to get into a theater and see this movie. I love the fact that at first I'm like, why are they making this film? I know Flanagan was involved in the writing of it. I can understand James Gunn.
It was an odd choice, very odd choice.
But James Gunn clearly read this script and said, okay. And I even love there's a mad scientist element. Somebody's trying to. It's always people that are trying to make humanity better through some kind of engineering, and it never goes well. And I love that about movies like this, and I can't wait to see this. I cannot wait.
John, wait. You had a chance to watch the trailer for Clayface. I don't think you and I ever talked about the previous outing from it, the previous trailer that came out for it. So just raw, quick reaction. What did you think about this trailer for Clayface?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of feels to me almost like the counterbalance to how frustrating Supergirl was for just feeling like James Gunn light. And this feels like the true potential of the DCU of like trusting your directors, your writers to do something new and different with the universe. Because other than the flaming lip song in the trailer, there's no cross reference to the rest of the DCU. It feels like its entirely own thing, its own genre, its own tone, and doing something we have not seen in this genre before, and doing really good freaky body horror. Like all the eye stuff, I just wigs me out. When I was in high school, I was reading Ken Potok's The Chosen, and someone gets glass in their eye, and I literally passed out in my desk in high school. Like, what's wrong with this guy? Did he fall asleep? I pretended like I fell asleep. But I passed out. And so I'm watching this trailer. He starts pulling his scissors towards his eye. I was like, whoa, no, don't do it. And that's what it's going for. That's the exact squirm-inducing horror the movie wants, while looking interesting, compelling, and having that character study in it. And for the DCU, this is what I needed. This is what I wanted, something that kind of pushes things forward. And you mentioned whether this is or the Dune is the better trailer of the year. I think with Dune, I've seen the past two Dune movies, so I knew how awesome he could deliver. Good point. With this, that has the point of it was like the underdog, the smaller movie. What's this thing over here? Their horror movie that Mike Flanagan worked on. And it was like, no, this is the real deal. The little bot guy, the B team. No, that's the one you should be paying attention to. That's what this trailer said to me.
It's funny. Somebody in the live chat, I got to bring this up, see if I can find it again. Yeah, BVR. Good point. This is a very good point. I didn't think about this. The TSA would never allow scissors on the flight. that is a fair criticism of this trailer. I hope maybe there'll be some kind of explanation in there about how there was scissors, because even though they were little tiny scissors, they were still scissors. Anyway, yeah, I was completely, obviously blown away by this trailer, and my expectation levels have gone up. But here's a question I have for both of you guys. Look, it's Clayface. It's a character that, if we're being honest, probably 8 out of 10 casual film fans have never even heard of the character. This is not a trailer that's got, lasers and people flying through the skies. Is this the type of trailer that could actually get because we've all been thinking, hey man, if Clayface can make $200 million at the box office, that would be a big win for them. But I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking, this could be like an obsession. This could be like a $400 million film. Is this the type of trailer that do you think will appeal to like casual movie going fans that aren't necessarily comic book movie fans? Rob, is this going to get their attention?
I think so, because I think we live in a looks obsessed. I mean, for guys, the idea of looks maxing, which is a word I'd never heard of 2 years ago, but now, of course, we have people slamming hammers into their faces and they want to look great. I mean, this plays on that, the horror of what happens when your looks are taken away. In our social currency, the currency in social media, so much of it is all about looks and how you look, and let's use filters and let's try and look younger. This plays into the same kind of anxieties that like Obsession did with the dating scene and all of that. And we see it, a pretty boy loses his looks in a vicious attack, and his identity that way is destroyed. And I think this movie has a lot to say for modern audiences. And let's face it, even though it says DC Studios, most people outside of the comic book world don't know Clayface. It's not something that people are, and I think for normal audiences, this might bring them in for that very reason when they see a trailer like this, because you're not waiting for Batman to show up. So,
Sean, is this going to get the average film goer? So, like, should we maybe be re-looking at how big we think this movie could be? Because we've been pretty conservative with what we think its potential is.
Well, I think there's two sides to it. On the one hand, I think it's going to play much better to horror fans. There's a lot of people in the horror community that just aren't into comic book movies. That's just not
that's
their
a great
thing.
point.
So they just write them off as an entire thing. And they adore Mike Flanagan. Like,
Yeah.
they love him. And then they'll see this trailer and they'll go, I mean, I don't really like comic book movies, but this is a horror movie. This is my thing. So I think it is absolutely going to open a door to an entire fandom, and horror fans are rabid, passionate. They love horror movies. And so that's going to play great for them. But the flip side to that is this is a horror movie. My wife's not going to go watch this movie. I don't know if she'll make it through the trailer. And so I think there is a little bit of, when you make a movie, the guy's face is melting in the trailer. There's a lot of people that go, whoa, that's not for me. And then there's an entire other group of people that go, that is exactly what I want. Finally, a comic book movie made for me. But I don't know how to guess what that's going to do at the box office, because there isn't really a similar point of reference. There's not a precedent for it right now. Like
there's really not.
Right.
I mean, I guess you're right, because to your point, we talk about how big of a hit Obsession was. And of course, low budget movie made over $400 million. Amazing, right? But it wasn't $1 billion film because not everybody wants to go to see an Obsession. So that's a really good point there. Guys, question is for you. What did you think about this trailer for Clayface? I legit think it might be the best trailer of the year, like 1 or 2. It's in the either number 1 or number 2 spot for me. I just adored it. And my expectations and my excitement for this movie have just gone through the roof because of this trailer. Whatever you guys thought about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.